Oi, meu nome é Amalia Suarez. Eu estudio ciência política enfocada em estudios latino-americanos. I spoke to the FLAS people at MSU, and they told me about the program and the scholarship and how I would be able to take classes in Brazil to practice my Portuguese. Because when you're in the US, you don't really find a lot of people that speak Portuguese. So that's the best opportunity, is being in Brazil, to be able to practice, to learn, and just make those connections. So it ended up working for me to keep practicing my Portuguese, learn about Brazilian culture, and then also go towards my major as a field experience. So we took one class about grammar in Portuguese. So that class we had every day. And then we took another class which was about contemporary issues happening in Brazil and the history of Brazil. Every week we got to learn by being there in different spaces where a lot of social movements were happening in Brazil. Like we got to go to an LGBTQ center. We went to a public health center because Brazil has universal health care. So we got to learn about that. And then we went to a lot of different museums. But the Movimiento Sin Techo MST really changed my perspective about how we see housing. Because being there, I felt like it was way different and it was enlightening, and I had never thought of housing like that, and the ways in Latin America how housing is being revolutionized and how it has been able to help a lot of people, especially like refugees, made me think about how a lot of buildings, they're just there, and like why are they just there when they can be used for the community, when there's so many people that are homeless on the streets could take those spaces and make a home and build a community and fight the issues of urban poverty. We were also offered a trip to an aldea, a Guarani aldea. It was called Jaraguá, and it's 15 kilometers from Sao Paulo. So it's like unique in the sense that it's so close to a big city, and there's just this highway going around. And they were saying in the community that the highway disrupts the Guarani way of life, and the Brazilian government not putting into consideration that there's a whole community there and just going over them and making a highway and disrupting their ways of life and affecting the environment. So I went with my program to speak to people in the community. They showed us around, they showed us what they do for a living, the agriculture. The Brazilian government had given recognition in the 2015 under Dilma's presidency. She had allowed for the aldea there to be recognized. They have a thing in the front when you enter, and it says this is federally recognized land, but then the recognition was taken away with the shift in governments that happened. So I did an independent study of 2 credits with Dr. Medina, and together we worked on how indigenous land rights are being affected in Brazil and how the lack of recognition from the Brazilian government of indigenous land is actually affecting environmental issues, health issues, and education in Brazil. I was talking about my experience in the aldea, connecting it to issues that I had studied at MSU about settler colonialism, land rights, and environmental issues affecting indigenous communities. I think it has changed my career. It made me more interested in environmental issues and agriculture and how it has such an effect on people, and just seeing how agriculture is so global made me think I could do something in this field. From my experience coming from an agricultural family, and then having seen everything that I had seen about how agriculture is really affecting people's lives, and we need to move towards more a sustainable way, and also a way that is recognizing indigenous people, because this is the land that they own, and we need to respect that and work with them to ensure that their sovereignty is recognized and the environment is also being taken care of. So it made me more interested in those topics and something that I want to pursue in my career as well.